Guys, let's get to our next guest. He is a stand-up comedian, a blogger, co-founder of Jack and Jill Politics, a blog, a tweeter, a pundit, public speaker, former director of digital for The Onion, and now a full-fledged author. How to Be Black. His book came out February 1st of this year. Please welcome Baratunde Thurston.
So smooth.
Nice, so smooth. I think
I like the exit, the segue was beautiful.
I announced the band usually at the end of the show, but it's people can't hear it. Django Gold on keys, Stephen Stallings on guitar, Dave Swanson on musical guests. Give a hand. They deserve more recognition. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to get the word out. We're gonna cut an album.
That's awesome.
They're gonna have a Twitter handle soon, I think.
I know Django.
Do you know Django? Oh yeah, The Onion.
I did not realize that was you. We used to work together.
And
what's up, Pops?
I'm doing fine.
Good. It's nice to meet the man.
Yeah.
Anywhere I can be with my son doesn't happen very often.
Oh, this is
Probably not anywhere, but yeah, I know what you mean.
not when I'm with Mallory later.
Okay, let me just, I'm gonna take over real quick, because there was so much tension in the audience.
Was it? Really?
Because, okay, so that was possibly well played.
Yeah.
Or disastrous. It was either the best of times or the worst of times.
Yeah.
And I think it was a bit of imbalance in the questioning.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I want to know is, are you single?
Well, it's complicated.
Oh, it's the Facebook. Okay, I'll let it go.
It's complicated with every girl I meet. That's my Facebook. That's what it says.
He is
No.
single.
Thanks, Dad.
As far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, there might be some people here who would take offense to that.
It just got awkwarder. How is that possible?
We're just building layers of awkwardness.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Let's switch to politics.
Let's whatever you want to talk about, man. It's your stage.
Let's I wanted to first of all, a little background. You know Django from The Onion?
I do.
We also know each other. Now, what's going on with that? Because The Onion is moving to Chicago.
Yeah.
You're not going with them.
I'm not moving to Chicago.
Not moving to Chicago.
No.
So are you?
I like Brooklyn.
Yeah.
What?
Brooklyn.
Shameless pandering to geography.
Yeah.
It works every time.
It does. That's
Who
exactly.
lives on Earth? Am I right? What?
Are your duties with The Onion are they now ceased?
They are ceased. I officially retired.
Wow.
Not even retired. That doesn't make any sense. Resigned.
Yeah.
I left.
You left.
About a month to 5 weeks ago. I'm moving on to other things. So I'm still in New York. I'm still doing comedy. I'm do stand-up and nerdy things. I'm actually building a new comedic organization called Cultivated Wit.
Yes.
Which will do innovative things with comedy and technology, kind of making sense of the world.
This is
Using
exciting.
the power of humor to engage, actually, the way you left that last interview. So,
And we're linked forever.
Yeah.
Inextricably linked in Onion history. Because as the sole black guy at The Onion, which...
there can only be one.
There can only
Like
be one.
Highlanders, like Black Highlanders.
You were the
And
black
there's a
guy.
quickening process when you kill the other black guy who was there. And his blackness.
But you talk about this in the book, and you talk about in your speeches, as the black guy at The Onion, whenever The Onion needed a black guy in a photo or something, you were the guy.
I'm pretty good at being black.
You're great. You're great. You really look the part.
Got some experience.
And I had a headline, and it was actually the only headline I've ever had. Front page, big story headline. I figured I could die now once I got that in. I want to show it right now because you're the photo. There it is. Obama's hillbilly half-brother starting the Thrill campaign. It was in August 2008, so it was 4 years ago. But there's Baratunde.
Toothless, with a jug of moonshine, some coveralls, and a straw hat. Talking about, hell yes, y'all can.
Cooter Obama.
Cooter Obama, that's right. That was the best part I ever played.
Yeah.
In my storied acting career. And look, so I didn't realize until tonight that I didn't remember that you wrote this headline.
Scott got paid to write that.
I got
That's
it.
beautiful.
Joe Garden.
Why America's great, right there.
Joe Garden wrote the article. Got to give
Yeah.
props to Joe. But
And
yeah, that's
so
it.
that was that's what we call teamwork.
That is teamwork.
And the beauty of this photo, so the photo team at the Onion has been just incredible, and we had to shoot this. We had to shoot this in daylight, outside. Because they needed, so I had to wear, like I'm really, it's not Photoshop, I'm wearing what that is.
Yeah.
and I have the hat on. I'm carrying around this jug with 3 X's on it.
Really?
And we're in Soho, with the office in Soho. It's
Right.
like underfed models and cheese everywhere. It's a weird neighborhood. And so we're walking through, and then I got Michael Feischke and Nick Gallo, our photographers, follow me, and no one cares.
Yeah.
Like, New Yorkers don't care.
That's
This
the
is
beauty
not
of the
a
city.
worthwhile sight.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a moonshine. I see that on Wednesdays. It's Moonshine Wednesdays for Negroes. That's how it works. It's like you're just fazed by nothing, New York City.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why we love it.
That's great.
But that's the true story behind the. I did not know that.
That's a career high.
We're learning a lot. But I know the story behind the photo. You know the story.
Yeah.
That's
It's a
that's
quote
it.
list of-
That's my one and only. Never again.
Well, and we also used to do a lot of stand-up
That's
together
right.
at a show called Stage Stand-Up.
Stage Stand, Sam Morrell.
Which ran for just about 5 years. We actually just closed the show there
Really?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, because Sam is doing big things now. He's headlining Caroline's
Yeah.
and Harrison, both those guys.
Yeah.
Harrison Greenbaum, Sam Morrell, really funny guys. You were hosting those shows. I was
was
doing.
4.5 years I hosted.
Man, we go back, Baratunde, and
We got some history.
we
maybe.
got some history. And man, now you're an author. This
I
is
am an
really
author.
impressive. How to Be Black, solid title. Although you got to be kicking yourself a little bit now that you didn't call it 50 Shades of Black. Am I right? There's part of you. That would have been bestseller.
This is the best
Oh, it is? Okay,
Yeah,
great.
but thanks.
So screw it. No. Well, you would have had a lot of horny women reading it.
Who says I've done it?
Touche. Touche. How to Be Black. Truth be told, my mom bought this for me.
Did she think you needed to be black?
I'm not sure. Well, no, she heard you on NPR,
Okay.
that's how it's supposed to work, You do an interview with Terry Gross, you move a few units to Lonely Housewives. That's how it works. My mom buys me a lot of books, but I don't often read them. This one I actually read. Finished it on the subway today.
You read it on the
Yes.
subway. God, it's
Yes.
so much more effective when you read it in public.
Except, I had to take the book.
You
back.
coward! You racist! Coward!
Dude, there's no way.
That's like 90% of the fun for me.
I realize.
Okay.
Believe me, I had it over there in the beginning, and after
Damn it.
a few too many strange looks on the archway, came right off. Regardless, I read it, jack it up, really great stuff.
Thank you.
Inspiring, educational, funny.
Wow.
Funny on top of that.
Thanks.
But inspiring, because How to Be Black, it's kind of like a memoir, how-to guide, and obviously satire. How would you describe the book? It's kind of an interesting book.
I'd say it's kind of a memoir, like a how-to guide.
Yeah. I got that right off Publishers Weekly.
You can read. No, it's great. It's great. The other element that's in the book, there are interviews. I
Yes.
created a panel that I call my black panel. There's 7 people, 6 of them are black. And that makes them experts. And then there's a white Canadian named Christian Lander, who is one of the people behind stuff white people like.
Yeah.
So he was like the control group.
The whitest of the white.
Yeah. And then, so I asked them a series of questions. So that's the book's got those 3 layers: the memoir, the how-to satirical, and these interviews.
Panel discussion. Yeah, and those are real. I mean, you really, because they're being brutally honest.
Yeah.
It inspired me, actually. I wanted to write a book called How to Be Jewish.
Yeah.
I kind of thought about it. I realized there already is one. It's called The Torah. So, someone beat me to it.
It's really long.
Although I was thinking about doing my own version of the Bible,
Yeah.
written entirely in double entendre, called That's What He Said. Good night, that's it. No? Not a good idea?
Go for it.
Go for it.
I really want to see that.
Well, can we talk about blacks and Jews?
Let's talk about blues.
Blues? Because we're at 92Y here. Blacks and Jews, I feel like there's a lot of history there. A lot of shared struggle. Israelites, slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Did you just?
I could,
What
yeah,
was that?
yeah, a little bit of a...
I love the swagger for being
swag.
oppressed.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
just like, yeah, we took a lot of shit.
We did.
Got our asses kicked
Built
all up and down.
Built those pyramids, but it's...
Yeah.
So there's like a lot of buying, and it
The
goes back.
Oppression Olympics.
It goes back. I mean, 1909, founding of NAACP, Henry Moskowitz, one Jew was right there with W.E.B. Du Bois. 1984, Rick Rubin and Russell Simmons. So
That's perfect. That's the bookend.
there it is.
Of the partnership.
There it is.
Yeah.
Israel, and I met some Ethiopian Jews.
Yeah.
Oh man, the coolest Jews in the world.
Really?
Oh yeah. I gotta say, I just love seeing a black guy with like a Star of David necklace or a tattoo, a Star of David tattoo,
Yeah.
however counterintuitive that is. even like the whole Zion thing of the I don't know what that is really, the Rastafari thing, but I see that I'm like, yeah, man.
So it makes you like
Yeah,
proud,
yeah,
happy,
yeah.
like, tell-
I feel cooler by extension.
So you think
We're
you're
sharing symbols.
Yeah.
Amari Stoudemire with yeah, you know. I'll take it anywhere I can get it.
all right?
Have you been to Israel yet?
No, I haven't.
But you do a lot of traveling around the
I
world.
do constant travel when I know.
And you got this huge, like over 100,000 Twitter followers. I mean, you're basically, I think you comprise 18% of the internet. Just if you type in Baratunde into YouTube, you just got pages and pages of videos, hours of footage, and these keynote speeches that you make. You really nailed that.
Thanks, man.
The keynote speaking,
Yeah, that's been my job for a while in terms of paying.
Right.
But I exist in this world where it's part comedy, part sort of media journalism, politics, and tech stuff. And so I ended up speaking at places like South by Southwest. I speak at universities. So sometimes it's like more of a straight stand-up show, but other times it's really more of a talk that's also funny but has some extra content thrown in to mess with your brain.
I want to talk about this, Barrett, because I feel like we could talk about it, and I've read the book, so I feel like I'm a little informed now. And as comedians, the role of the N-word in comedy.
Okay.
Richard Pryor, first of all, he kind of like originated using this word in comedy, and I feel like that almost started comedy, and then rap, hip-hop, it became. But back in like the 70s, of course, the famous Chevy Chase, Richard Pryor sketch on SNL from 75, using the N-word on the air, NBC.
Yeah.
They said that word. It's just crazy how the shift.
And now Gwyneth Paltrow.
Now Gwyneth Paltrow's using it? I didn't hear about that. But no, and even Richard Pryor had an album in 1976 called Bicentennial N-word.
Yeah. And Dick Gregory's first book.
Is that an important word to be able to use in comedy?
No.
No.
No. I mean, that's a short, unhelpful answer.
Yeah.
I'll elaborate a little bit more. I think, first of all, you gotta, language is a flexible, fluid, subjective thing.
Sure.
And words change and phrases change and whole languages evolve over time. There's, the use of that word has so much history that's painful, so much that's reclaiming, so much that's just ignorant, stupid, hiding behind the claims of reclaiming.
Right.
But so I think you have fallen into some pitfalls in comedy. And I feel like this doesn't happen that much, at least not in the comedy world that I inhabit, but people who think it's a shortcut to being edgy.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, look what I did, I just said nigger.
Yeah.
Badass. It's like, no, you just said some syllables and you think like you're more of an idiot now because you think you're so important because you did the thing.
Yeah.
So I don't buy that, you said it, therefore you're deep.
Right.
Or you're somehow controversial with substance. You're just, taking a liberty and not necessarily being very thoughtful about it and sort of assuming that it gives you some level of thoughtfulness that you don't have.
Right. Well, what do you think it says about the errors at times you live in? Because
Well,
70s. Imagine Andy Samberg saying that in a sketch today.
But I think, you look at All in the Family. If you want to talk about a show that pushed the envelope that was on network television, they dealt with, I'm actually rewatching it right now. I'm watching that and I'm watching MASH. And both of those shows, they're dealing with war, you're dealing with race and social justice and this awkward transition of power in the country that's being more evenly distributed than it had been in quite a while.
Yeah.
And showing the resistance to that and the embrace of that and everything in between. Those were brave shows, and and they were comedies. Right. They weren't just like sociological PBS specials that 5 people watched. They were comedies that lots and lots of people watched and probably affected their brains a little bit. Now we live in this time where culture's super fluid. We have YouTube as a version of just a more open and loose world, and kids are hearing things, and we sort of repackaged and sold slices of culture, and through hip hop, at least the most popular commercial phrases of. So people feel more of a liberty because there's this sort of implied permission. It's like, well, it's everywhere. It's basically on like weedy cereal at this point. And so, kids all around the world are feeling some ownership and some shared perspective on. I think that's part of what has changed, since the 70s and certainly since the time before.
Yeah, and is it a better time, do you think, now?
It's a different time.
Yeah.
And I think, it's definitely better in many ways. And you can measure a lot and say it's not.
Right.
Incarceration rates are far worse.
Yeah.
Stratification's worse. Overall opportunity, I don't know. Some study came out, this is so depressing, good lord.
I know. Comedy show, guys.
So basically, we're screwed. Good night.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you know, we have so much. I think we have a higher potential for greatness than we've ever had. That I believe. And because we have the tools for us to connect to one another and not be mediated by some centralized power source, is greater than it's ever been. The ability for people to articulate their own version of the role and then do it, like Ted's talking about, greater than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Like we can find each other and then build shit. And just the finding was hard before. And now we have like tools that make us do it in 2 seconds.
Exciting.
So the potential's higher. I don't know if the reality is yet higher.
If you address it also, there's no like post-racial.
That's
That's a
stupid.
myth.
That's stupid.
There's no. Is there any getting over race? And this is just something that I feel like we're humans and we're all different. And judging, that's not going to go away.
No, humans will still be humans until we're not.
That's
We're
right.
about to take over, and that's coming. But until Skynet's fully activated,
Yeah.
we can be shitty to each other.
And I judge. No, look, I mean, my sister gets me all the time. How can you be judgmental? You're judging everybody. It's like, well, first of all, I'd be out of a job. As a comedian,
It's a prerequisite.
judge. I mean, that's what you do,
Yes.
of judging and making comments. And I'd be boring. Who wants to be around a guy open-minded all the time, agreeing with everything? You want to be able to trash talk Whitney with somebody, you know? You gotta judge.
Okay.
But I feel like we should be judging people not by the color of our skin, obviously, but by the content of our iPods. I feel like that's what we need to get in society.
Yeah.
So let's keep judging and let's focus on what movies we like and what TV shows we watch and what songs we listen to, because that's what really makes up people, right? Who cares about anything else? All right, guys.